Hello everyone, welcome back. So I have your astrological transits for the week of February 4th to the 10th. But first I have to talk about Uranus going direct because I kind of blew past that last week. The video was already getting so long. But so I'll dive into that because that happened, I think it was the 27th, 28th, somewhere in there. But anyway, all planets are direct and will be direct until April 1st. But this week there's a lot going on because we have Ceres moving into Capricorn. We have Mercury moving into Aquarius. We have the new moon in Aquarius coming in at 20 degrees. We still have Venus squaring the nodes and Chiron squaring the south, or not squaring, I'm sorry, opposing. Chiron's joined up with the north node and opposing the south node, of course. So I'll talk about that a little bit more than I did last week, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, let me just swap out cameras here and bring you over my table so we can go through the charts one day at a time. Hold on. Okay, so we're starting off with our chart set for 6 a.m. Sunday, February 4th. This is Thursday, what is today? February 1st. And so I just had the experience of, yesterday, watching a live stream of the tech giants being grilled on Capitol Hill, under a bipartisan committee, and this committee was trying to create safety standards to protect children online with, like Twitter, X, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat. Even Discord was a guy from Discord was there. Anyway, I was like, oh, this is Pluto. This is Pluto in Aquarius. And then I had to look at the charts real quick and go, oh yeah, we're moving into Mercury conjunct Pluto. Right? So this week, what's going to happen is all of these planets here, Mercury, Mars, and Venus, are going to, Mercury and Mars will cross over Pluto, but Venus, it'll take a little bit longer, but I'll show you the charts day by day. But anyway, I just thought it was really interesting that with Pluto here in Aquarius, and this with the Sun, so both of these planets in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. Uranus is all about waking up. Uranus has everything to do with technology and being online, and it rules electricity. Uranus rules waking up. It's known as the Great Awakener. And we had this, it wasn't shocking to me, but it was shocking to hear, and I don't know if everyone else would have understood, the like double speak under these tech giants, with their words. They basically weren't committing to create online safety through allowing themselves to be sued when kids get killed and when kids commit suicide and when kids undergo bullying to the point that they commit suicide. So with the Sun at 15 degrees in an approaching exact square to Uranus, this will be heating up all week. I think people will be talking about it. Mercury in Capricorn at that nth degree, that anaretic degree of Capricorn, we are going to be seeing a lot because Mercury rules. Rules the news. Mercury's the messenger, and it's what we're talking about and thinking about, and with it getting closer and closer to Pluto, it's not going to be long, it'll be right there, and then by midweek it's on the other side of Pluto. And what's going to happen is there's more talking about, these things. It would be great if these if all of these politicians weren't lobbied by the tech, giants, right? That's the problem. Is I don't know. I don't really sense that a lot's going to be done, but what can be done, and it's not what. So it's a really tricky situation. I'll just say go online and watch the interview, but then also listen or watch all the interviews, but then watch the testimony, but then also listen to what other people are speaking to as far as parents who have a really hard time keeping up with, how to deal. I mean, they're not phone savvy like the kids are, right? So how do they protect them is the deal. And there can be laws that put in place where it's on the, with Apple, the App Store, the Apple App Store and the Android App Store. I guess it's Google and Apple. And there could be laws put in place to protect the kids so the kids can't just download apps on their own. But all this is on the parents right now. So there's so much here with Mercury and Capricorn. What I wanted to bring through was the thinking that, because of Capricorn, that we all need to be, and we've got Mars here too, and Venus, but we all need to be thinking in terms of self-responsibility. It's up to us to protect our kids. It's, it's so important to be self-responsible for all things in our lives, our own health. We should be researching before we're just taking meds that the doctors prescribe. We should be willing to be responsible for what we're doing with our diet and all of that. These things just need to be taken care of on our own, which is the epitome of Capricorn, if we're using the energy right. So we're in integrity with ourselves and in our own authority when we're not giving our power away to any outside authority. Now, that being said, when a person has to have surgery of some type, you really just have to surrender, as long as it's not just it's a whole different thing like cosmetic surgery, but, sometimes people need to have like an appendix taken out or, there's life-saving, these surgeons can be lifesavers, but that's a different case where you would just have to surrender. That would be more like the Piscean energy to surrender. So, but to stick here with Mercury joining up with Pluto for for most of this week, it'll be a separating conjunction after a while, but for now it's a conjunction, which is just another way of saying join up, conjunct, join, right? Okay, that's one of the easy ways to understand the aspects. So anyway, what this is going to be for us, I think, all week long has to do with being more sensitive, not only with our thinking, but with our words, okay? It could be intense. Pluto can bring in that intensity. Mercury, it relates to words and thinking, communication and thinking. So our choice is going to be on one level to be sensitive with our thinking and our words, like I said, but also to make choices as to, we may have a week, like all week long, where we're trying to decide whether to take a stand and have a little healthy rebellion or to just go the other way and move forward. It's, can be like picking your battles, but most of all, be very, very careful with your words. Or otherwise, by the end of the week, you're going to be going through some regret and maybe some major disruptions in relationships that don't need to go through that. And I say that especially because Venus is in this double trine to Uranus. Uranus is the change agent. Uranus is direct. And with that intense, it's a fast-moving flow of energy. Trines are fast-moving energy that connect to relationships at the Venus end and Uranus. And notice that Venus is at 15, so it's moving, forward. Uranus is slowly sitting there and holding space for waking up and understanding, is this what you want in your relationship? If it isn't, we need to communicate and speak up, do your best. And if it's still not going to move, well, we've got that square to the south node with the, Venus ruling Libra, and there's the bridge. And the south node in Libra ruling social, everything on social media, social platforms. And then there's that square with Venus. It's like, okay, there is this what you want? Because you know by now, with Venus at 15 degrees of Capricorn, there's some major lesson coming through. And if you've had this relationship that hasn't shifted, and you might know quickly that things are not going to change, and then that brings in moving forward. Now, this could also relate to, so it could be personal relationships, but it could also relate to work relationships, and it could also relate to the ways that you work on your own to make money, or to bring in more safety, or to bring in more stability with these earth signs. We've got fixed earth here that's not budging until it understands and wakes up. And then we have cardinal earth here that is always moving towards, handling things. In Capricorn, it's our sign for our self-responsibility and controlling our own lives. And it doesn't mind working hard either. So let's see, what else with, well, I'm just feeling like the rebellion can heat up. The politicians and dictators who've been screwing over their people for years or even decades, they might be really surprised in the future as people just start standing up and they've had it and they won't take it. But whether it's a political or human rights issue or focusing on our personal lives, one way we can move forward is by letting go of what doesn't work, like I was saying. On another level with Mercury and Pluto, because, Mercury combined with that Plutonic energy can really get to the bottom of things. And it can really help us to understand the inner workings that create our daily life experiences. And then, of course, when it comes to politics, the truth's always going to come out. It just does. And Pluto, we can thank for that. But we can also, I think we're going to expect to hear and see liars lying, grifters be grifting, and I'm talking about. The one who has taken in $55 million through his super PAC fund and used that towards, that $55 million was just 10% of what he got in, what he grifted off of his people and through money laundering and all, but they're not talking about that on the news because, they can't say for sure. I'm an entertainment channel here, so I can say more. I believe he gets a lot of his cash through super PACs, through money laundering, and through overseas donations, and, via Putin and his oligarchs, and any of these other dictators. So bottom line is, that's how he's paying his legal bills. But he fired Alina Habba, so there's that. That's interesting. There's a perfect example of Venus trine Uranus. It's like, oops, and then with the south node square to the south node, you're out. So there we go. Transactional type of relationships. But anyway, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of news coming out this week about the past abuses of power. But, because Pluto's power. But for us, it's a great week for progress because Mars is moving that direction, right? And Mars moves energy. And Mars on Pluto will bring through the deeper issues that bring through with Pluto, our personal evolution. Because, like I said, Mars moves energy. Mars is all about instinctually moving forwards and moving towards more freedom, and especially with Uranus over here, and then the Sun with the square approaching. This week is all about moving forward towards more freedom. But we have to, like I said, be careful about fighting words as we're moving forward. Be careful with, just be watchful of your words. If we're connected to our hearts, when we're having conversations, especially, it should always be that way with people that we love. But if we can also bring that into the workplace, like try and think about how your words might affect another person. And even if you're not directing it at them, we have to be really careful about words regarding people, okay? Because people might take things personally without us meaning to. But, if we're calling out dirty dictators and you've got information and you're a journalist or anyone with a voice online, we all have a voice online. Put your truth out there. If you've got dirt on these guys, put it out there. So anyway, what else? I think on the best level, we can really use this Mercury, Pluto, and Mars, and Venus is going to catch up later. We can use all of this energy to get deeply in touch with issues that have been dogging us all of our lives. And most likely, these issues that we've brought in from our past life, and maybe prior lives even to the past life. Because, we're talking Pluto here, and it relates to the evolution of our soul substance. And in Aquarius, it's about freeing things up and getting out of those boxes. But that doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. It's going to bring up Pluto transiting through the first, degrees. It always brings up the darkness that's, been at the top that's going to, bubble up. But then as it goes, it'll bring up the darker, just like we saw when Pluto was moving through Capricorn. It won't be any different than that, except for the issue, instead of it being about money, it's going to be more about human rights. Instead of it being about personal integrity and financial integrity, it's going to be more geared towards online technology, science, discoveries, and then humanity and their need for freedom, their need for autonomy. And then on the human level, like I always say with Aquarius, you have to be careful. You have to be very, very careful about. It's really good, for inventing things, and it's really, it can't, at the highest levels, it's altruistic and friendly, and makes good progress in reforming things. But on the dark side, it can be cut off from the heart, because it's the opposite sign of Leo. So if we're cut off from our hearts, then, when we're detached like that, or maybe you need to detach and withdraw sometimes and the energy can be used good. But if they're fighting words or mean, or if it's ghosting or withdrawal, that type of withdrawal that's got a big fuck you behind it, then there, you can expect that too. And that would be the dark side of Uranus. I mean, on the best side, it would be that if it's not working out in a relationship, you tell them and say, I need a break, or I'm done, but I thank you for being in my life. I love you for it always, but I'm going to love you from afar, right? Because this isn't working out for me, at least at this time. Maybe it'll change later, or maybe it's never going to change. You don't know, but you have to tell them. You can't just ghost people. Right? They have to understand why, because otherwise it's a form of abuse. It's a sneaky sideways form of abuse. And I'm talking personal relationships. I'm not talking about our politicians and things like that, our personal relationships with politicians. But I could bet you anything that Trump fired Alina Habba over text or over just a document, and didn't tell her in person. I could betcha. So, he's got Sun conjunct Uranus in Gemini, so he's already detached from his heart there. And not everyone with Sun conjunct Uranus in Gemini that were born at the same time, exact same day as him. That doesn't I'm not talking about them. I'm only talking about him because I've studied his chart long enough and I know the dude is a born psychopath. He's disconnected, psychopathology like that, and he's disconnected from the heart. That's why he doesn't feel empathy. So, okay, what else? I feel like the transformation of our soul is going to bring through more personal empowerment. And I really feel like Mars, once it gets over here to Pluto, I'll talk about that, or I'll just note it. You know, this is an overview for the week at first here. But when Mars joins up with Pluto, I think it's going to help us to feel more motivated to work deeply on ourselves. And it's going to help us to, you know, on one level, it can be that, well, I think we all should be trying to evolve, right? But it could be working deeply on ourselves, but it could also be a project that's pretty all-consuming. And it could be anything that brings in more freedom. Because, you know, Uranus is all about, or Uranus and Aquarius is all about, like I said, freedom. But Aquarius is also about networking and all the good things that comes from networking. So I can expect, you know, it might, with these years of Pluto crossing through Aquarius, and especially this month with the Sun in Aquarius, until the Sun moves into Pisces, which won't be till the 19th, I do expect that things will be, you know, will progress forward. There's going to be high levels of reasoning ability. There might be some rebellion. Things can be revolutionary. There can be a lot of social things going on that are very helpful. And notice how we have the aspect of the architect here with the Sun, and the Sun's at 15, so this will be for a few days. So we've got this fast-moving energy. This is, both of these signs here are very social. The difference is that Libra energy is cardinal, meaning that it's movement-oriented, and Aquarius energy is fixed, but they're both air signs. Aquarius energy is fixed. So air signs mean that there's a lot of reason, and people are talking, there's communication, usually. But Aquarius is like, over here on one level, you know, there's a movement towards being in an organization and being connected with kindred spirits and like-minded people. But Aquarius is over here going, I don't know if I'm going to let you in, that kind of thing. Because Aquarius energy is all about making, you know, it's like the nomenclature to categorize things. It's all about archetypes. It's all about collecting new ways to invent new opportunities. So with the sextile, also notice how Chiron is here at 16 degrees and the North Node is at 17 degrees. We've got a double sextile. Sextiles right here, so it's the 60-degree aspect. The trine is a 120-degree aspect. The squares are 45 degrees. Or, I'm sorry, 90 degrees. Semi-square would be the 45. But anyway, with the sextile here, with the 60-degree aspect, these are opportunities. So to go over the aspects quickly, the squares are tension fields that can bring in strength. The trines are fast-moving, flowing freely connections, whereas there's just a lot of grace and ease that move forward. The sextiles mean opportunities, okay? The inconjuncts here, the quincunx inconjunct 150-degree aspect, indicates the need for adjustment. The semi-square here, which is that 45-degree, indicates the need for action. Otherwise, it'll just bug you. So there's one here and one here. I'll talk about that later probably. But anyway, focusing here back to the aspect of the architect, which is a building aspect, right? Because the energy moves fast from the past, South Node, Libra, friendships, connections, social energy, social media, energy from the past, moving quickly to shine the light on opportunities over here to heal our deepest wounding and to move forward with Aries energy, to move forward, to instinctually initiate something that can help you create win-win situations in your life if you've got the strength to assert yourself and yeah, move forward in your unique individuality, especially with all the Aquarian energy and Uranus over here holding space for having your unique, bodily experience, even moving through life, because Taurus that's what it's all about. And it's with the Taurian energy with Jupiter here as well, even though they're not conjunct yet, that'll come in the spring. But what's happening here is that with the Taurus energy ruled by Venus and Capricorn, we have so many opportunities here for just being very patient, being very steadfast, determined, trustworthy. I'm speaking to both signs here. And then just steady on one foot in front of the other. With Taurus, it can be about luxury. And we might want to be careful about writing checks. We can't, like that, charging things that we can't or we don't want to pay for later, because we've got this fast-moving energy. So if you're going to purchase anything, maybe hold off a day or two to see if your mood changes. And if you still want it after a few, if it's not a need and it's just a want, and if you still want it a few days later really badly and you don't mind paying the price for it, then go for it. But those should be the considerations. And then, so that's covered, that aspect's covered there. With the opposition here with Chiron so Chiron in Aries is Chiron's our deepest inner wounding, our deepest traumas, our deepest inner conflicts, but also, as we work through them, bring through our greatest gifts. So with Chiron in Aries, it's our presence. Anyone with Chiron in Aries might have a hard time feeling their presence as being real with other people. But Aries energy is brave and it's powerful and it can be really direct. It's all about independence and, fearlessly asserting yourself. And there's that opposition to the South Node. Now, the South Node is going backwards, so this is tightening up even more because Chiron's going this way. They're already, the South Node probably by the end of the week will be at 16, and Chiron will be in exact opposition. So the oppositions, I forgot to talk about that aspect. Oppositions will be confrontations because you have a mirror. You have a mirror on one end and a mirror on the other, and you might not like what's at the other end, but it can create a breakthrough. So if you have an argument with someone or you have anything less than positive experience with someone, use it as a mirror to see if it is dinging anything inside of you that needs to heal. Like if you're taking something personally, or is it a breakthrough? Because oppositions lead to breakthroughs, and it can be a breakthrough where suddenly you're not taking something personally that you used to in the past, and you realize, whoa, you've made some headway there, especially because we've had, those eclipses in Aries and Libra, and we continue, we will, I think, have one more. Eclipse season's coming up. So anyway, not till the spring, but we'll see. Later on, I'll do videos on that, of course, but anyway, breakthroughs abound in relationships, and on all levels. It's like, you're finding your kindred spirits and finding your spiritual relationships, and finding out whether people are trustworthy or not is on the table with everything here. And we also have the sextile that's been going on with Saturn right here to Jupiter. So Jupiter in Taurus especially wants to heal in order to stabilize, heal in order to create safety, expand and move forward in ways that create safety and stability. And then Saturn in Pisces over here, there's the opportunity to spiritualize literally your matter, your physical matter with each breath. And that's what would really create the healing. Now, it's not going to be that way for everyone, of course, because on the dark side of Pisces, we have, victim consciousness where they blame other people for what they're experiencing. And not that life on Earth is ever going to be perfect, and you can't control every aspect. But with Saturn in Pisces through May of 2025, it's really important that we create these opportunities to heal any place that we have little issues that come up and we want to blame anything outside of ourselves, right? Because we're adults, we're the ones that make choices, we're the ones that create the consequences, we're the one that learn our lessons. And with both of these planets in the first decan of their signs, we are developing. We're developing plans and we're developing ourselves. And, of course, that Piscean energy is very intuitive. And with Neptune holding space there, that's actually really good. And then with Neptune in the sextile up to Mars, see how Mars is Capricorn here, 23 degrees, and the sextile over to Neptune at 25 degrees at Pisces, we have the ability to move forward in very tangible ways. Mars in Capricorn loves hard work, doesn't mind doing all the due diligence and taking self-responsibility, doesn't mind working out all the, issues, nuts and bolts of daily life is something that most Capricorns, and especially if you have Mars in Capricorn, love. And with Venus there moving towards Mars, that's going to be even more heightened. With this stellium, 3 planets or more in one sign is called a stellium. So it intensifies all the planetary, join-ups, conjunctions here. So it makes each one of these planets stronger. And Venus is our unifier. Venus wants harmony. Venus wants happiness. Venus will adapt in order to make, to create happiness. And with the sextile over to Neptune, Neptune can be source energy or it can be delusion. Neptune, it can dissolve things that have been deluding us and pulling us off track. Like if you were stuck in a cult and didn't realize it, this can help you get away from it. That Mars and Capricorn opportunity, right? That sextile, that opportunity there can help you get away from it. When you realize that, yes, Donald Trump is a racist, Donald Trump is a rapist, all those things that he said about other people, that has been saying about other people, is exactly what is, he is himself, and he's just been in projection. Oppositions are about projections. So yeah, there's all that. Now, with the sextile for us personally, from Neptune to Mars, I think we can really make some headway if you're willing to sit and meditate, if you're willing to call in your guides, and you don't need to know their names. They don't. If you have a high-level guide, they do not care at all if you know their name. You don't have to call them by name. You just have to open up to all the love in the universe, the forces of love in the universe, and call in your guides and your guardian angels, and they connect with your higher self. They are your spirit family connected to your soul. It's all one. In the spiritual realm, there is no separation. On Earth there is. On Earth there is, there's evil, which is separation, materialism, greed, lies. So if you want to rise above all of that, you have to. It is a real need. It's a real spiritual need to sit and give yourself some solitude. And even if it's only 10 minutes, I recommend 20 minutes, but you'll find at some point in your personal evolution that it is a real need to meditate daily, to listen to your dreams, to listen to yourself, to be very, very sensitive. I'm speaking to Neptune here. To be sensitive to yourself. Do your best not to numb out. Do your best not to just resign from life. Do your best to be utterly human, but also beautifully divine in whatever way, whatever that means to you. If you're going through any confusion, that could be a Neptunian transit. If you're distorting, or you have someone in your life that's just distorting their energy and blaming and creating chaos in your life, that's something that's going to be challenging. And Neptune will stay in Pisces until, well, it won't move into Aries until 2025. I think it's like March 31st or March 30th, somewhere in there. We've had Neptune in Pisces since 2012, so we've been making a lot of headway. And more people are coming into alignment with spirituality. Not religion, but spirituality. Not judgmental, religious dogma, but opening up to spirituality on many levels. But we do have to be careful about being gullible. There's some things that are superstitious that you can just let go of. Some parts, even people that use feng shui, there are some sects, and I'm saying SECT of feng shui that are pretty darn superstitious. For instance, put your toilet seat down, otherwise your chi goes down the toilet seat. Your life force goes down in the toilet, and you. It's like, no, it doesn't. Yeah. Anyway, so. But if you like feng shui remedies, which are, there's usually red and gold and different things, and you like those items around your house because they're beautiful for you, then go for it. But your chi, your energy never goes down the toilet. Unless you're flushing because you want it to, and that's old chi, if you know what I'm talking about. I guess it would be old chit. Anyway, I'm going to move on. So I think I've covered Pluto and Neptune and Uranus very well. Saturn is in Pisces is the spiritual foundation work we're creating at the highest level, and hard lessons in addiction, hard lessons in cult, and hard lessons in distortion, hard lessons, because Saturn's always about lessons, hard lessons in victimizing yourself, and with it squaring the moon for today, there could be some challenge around the feeling of wanting to be free, and you've had it with this religious dogma, and it might be a relationship that somebody's bringing in, because we've got this sextile to the South Node. This might be in relationship with someone, and they're preaching to you out of the Bible or out of some other religious text that you don't want to listen to anymore. And it might just be the day that you say, I've had it. Let's don't do this. How about, here's what I would say with someone like that. And I had an aunt she's no longer with us, but I had an aunt who I had to set that boundary and say, you know what? I really love you, and I do want to stay connected to you. I love our conversations. I just love you, but I don't agree with you in your religious beliefs. So when we talk, can we make a pact to not talk about religion? And then later on, I had to set that same boundary with her with politics. I have one son that I have to set the boundary with politics because we don't agree, but with her I had to set it with both, and she did. She was good that way. But I didn't didn't live with her, wasn't close by, so it was pretty easy. But if you need to do something like that, it would be indicative of the moon square Saturn in Pisces, the moon in Sag square Saturn in Pisces, because the moon in Sag at its best will help you move forward directionally in a way that helps you to follow your intuition and follow your dreams and go in the direction that you want to go. And then with the square to Saturn in Pisces, this would be a beautiful way to say what you need to say, because Sagittarius energy speaks out. The moon helps us to connect with something that we want to do. It's our mood, literally, and this could be the public mood where they've just had it with religion, and especially because we're dealing with, how is humanity going to treat all these women who've been raped and couldn't get an abortion because of this, SCOTUS ban? And like, how are those children going to do over the years is the question. And so people are thinking along those terms. They're thinking the big vision, with Pluto and Aquarius, Mercury getting ready to connect there. Exactly. It's already there, but it's going to get tighter and more intense. And with Saturn in Pisces, Pisces brings in, that ability to be sensitive about what we say and how we say it, and what we want to experience. What foundation are we trying to build? So today, Sunday, can be really good for that. And then with the sesquisquare here coming down to Eris, remember, and especially in Aries, because we all have Eris and Aries, because it takes 558 years to get around the zodiac. So the deal is, Eris and Aries is all about the feminine, the brave, powerful feminine that won't take it anymore. She's a dwarf planet just like Pluto, but more powerful than Pluto, and she's our feminine counterpart of Mars and Pluto, and the feminine struggle for equality. So that's the stubborn aspect that's going to be there, in order to, with this sesquisquare to the moon, from the moon. So there's an emotional, with the moon, we could say the public mood will have an emotional quality to it where people are speaking up, and there's this stubborn connection to the north node that is moving forward with the influence of Eris, right? So, yeah, there's movement. The difference with the moon and Sag, Aries energy is cardinal, so it's just going to move forward instinctually. But with Sagittarian energy, it has to do with, it's mutable energy, so it has to do with adaptation. We're adapting in ways that create more resourcefulness, or can create some new resources. And because we're not getting it the old way, and we know that already. So yeah, and then Uranus, I'll cover this one, and then I think we're done. I covered Mars and Venus down to Uranus, yeah. But Uranus with this adjustment that needs to be made to the South Node in Libra. Again, this is social media, relationships, socializing, networking energy. And then there's an adjustment that we're going to be making because we really want to find new ways to be even safer, or we're so busy working on our personal projects and creating stability and safety in our lives and making money that helps us, that if there's something over here causing us trouble in relationships, we're just, we don't have you only have so much energy, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's Sunday. Then I have another chart here for Sunday night, because this is when, oh yeah, I forgot. I did these charts a few days ago. I forgot already. This is when Mercury moves into Aquarius, and it is 9:11 p.m. Sunday night. So you can see, right there. So that's all I wanted to say about it, because I'm going to go ahead and move forward. I just wanted to tag that time. All the other aspects are still the same. Yeah, Mercury's not even making an aspect to the other planets. So that was just kind of a park. I parked it there to see. Okay, so Monday, I parked this one at 6 a.m. because the 4 a.m. didn't seem to make any difference. 6 a.m. brought through the moon in a sextile up here to the sun and to the south node. Notice how they're all three at, well, the sun's at 16 degrees, moon's at 17, south node's at 17. So every hour that goes by, it'll get well, not every hour, but within the next couple hours, we'll have a tight sextile to the sun and the moon. So all this means we have two opportunities to move forward with everything I was talking about before. Okay, everything I was talking about with the weekly overview. Now we have the moon leading the way, and again, the mood will help us to feel into what we need to attach to, connect the dots to. It helps our digestion move forward. Even it helps us to respond in intuitive ways to nurture what it is that we're trying to grow or deal with. It rules our eating habits. The moon rules our daily things that we do every single day. Rules our homes. Like I said, the public mood, and our moms. And with the sextile over to the sun, there's an opportunity there to network. There's an opportunity to move forward. There's an opportunity to integrate some lessons that we've been working on. And with the south node sextile to the moon, this is the opportunity to move forward in our relationships, move forward in our harmony. It's with Libra, it's the urge for relationships and unity, just like Venus is, right? But with this sextile here to the moon, I really feel like there's more harmony. It's more easygoing energy, and we might be like polishing up final details of things that really help us to move forward. And of course, you can see we still have the sun sextiling the south node. So whatever we've been working on in the past, I think there's some refinement and some polishing up of whatever needed to be done, and things are ready to put out there. Now, you can also see, here's an aspect that this might be new if you're new to my channel, but I always focus in on the yods. So right here, we have two 150-degree aspects, two inconjuncts, which is also known as a quincunx, but they both mean adjustments that need to be made, and the adjustment is pointing towards freedom, financial freedom, and the opportunity is, and so a yod is called a finger of fate, finger of God, but we can all create our own fate. So, but we have an opportunity here that was set up ahead of time because, we choose to incarnate at certain times and have these experiences. So we chose to have this experience this morning of the ability to tap into all of the work we've done in the past on relationships and bringing in harmony and, most of all, justice. And now on Monday morning, we have 6 a.m., we have this opportunity to be in alignment with the public mood and move forward, and it's all pointing towards more freedom. So I'm thinking something comes out on the news today. I never know what it is. I don't know if SCOTUS is going to, from what I understand, which one is it? I get them all mixed up. But there's February 8th is it's when SCOTUS is going to start the arguments, with each other and work through everything. Try to work through everything that has to do with whether or not Trump will be able to be taken off of some of the ballots in some of the states, or all the states, if any of them want to do that, because of the 14th Amendment, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, that says anyone who aids and abets or is involved in an insurrection cannot run for president because they have, violated their oath of office. And oath to the Constitution, because they take an oath to abide by the Constitution, and it is a constitutional law. Again, 14th Amendment, Section 3, that says that you can't be involved in an insurrection. And it's not something that is, they're going to have arguments in SCOTUS, but in the Supreme Court, but it's not. It's not a law that has to go to trial, because they call it self-executing, so it doesn't have to go to trial. But the Colorado Supreme Court, that state Supreme Court, did go through a trial and did find him guilty of insurrection. So there might be something that comes out about that, because Sag rules politics, the public. The moon rules the public, something coming out on the public, and it would have to do with the past, and it could point to creating some safety of structure, something that's shocking to him, or maybe it won't be, I don't know. So anyway, let's see, what else with the moon? I got the sextiles. That's it. I'm going to go forward. Tuesday. I did this one for 4 a.m. because the moon hooked up with Ceres at the anaretic. Both of them are at the anaretic degree. So an anaretic degree, the anaretic just means, I don't know what it means in Latin, but to me it means intensity. To me it means a peak of something. And in Sag, it is about politics. It has to do with, Ceres has to do with nurturing. So we've been nurturing politics in all things Sagittarian. So we're talking freedom, speaking up. What do we find our faith in? Where do we find our faith? What do we really believe in? So we're exploring what means things to us. And like I said, it's bullshit patriotic politics and religious dogma on the dark side. And then even rules like the travel industry. So thinking of all those Alaskan, and think of the Boeing, all those Boeing jets that had loose, bolts. It's like, oh, nice. How many of them were there? Things like that, coming out. And with the moon, you can see how it trines Eris. There could be that movement forward with the feminine power that wants to protect and wants equality, and is, headstrong, moving in that direction. And we're all moving in that direction, whether they like it or not. The sun is still trining the south node, like I said. It was still in the aspect of the architect. That's still going on. We still have that opposition going on. Venus is exactly squaring the south node, so that's coming to a head. Again, are the relationships that you're involved in working out, for both parties, or there's a tension field there. And so now's the time to figure those things out. Mars and Venus are still trining Uranus, so the same as I had stated in the weekly overview. The moon and Ceres have moved past. I probably should have talked about that yesterday, because we would have had the moon and Ceres. I must have missed that, squaring Neptune. So it's okay, you're probably listening to these ahead of time anyway, so just know that for Monday, and especially Monday night, most likely, or most importantly, the moon square Neptune could bring through a little confusion, because somebody's saying something, but it's triggering your bullshit meter over here that's connected to source. And so are they telling the truth? Somebody's speaking up, publicly, but are they telling the truth is the question. And that's also on the table this morning still. Okay, let's go to Wednesday. So with Wednesday, now we have Ceres. It happens at 3:09 a.m., February 7th. Ceres has now moved into Capricorn. So it's going to retrograde in May and then go direct in August and won't leave Capricorn until December. So from now and through the end of the year, just about, December 7th, we're going to be dealing with Ceres in Capricorn. So again, Ceres it's most of all about our loyalty to humanity and how we will protect each other, and also animals, and it rules everything that's related to nurturing, but most of all food and farming, and it's related to all the transitions that women go through during their life, with our reproductive systems. So Ceres in Capricorn is getting really serious about women's reproductive rights, and it's squaring Neptune, and we don't be having it anymore, right? All this is heating up, before the election. And now in a natal chart, I would talk about it in a different way, but I don't have time to do that here. So I'm just going to leave it there and start talking about Capricorn. So put all that nurturing quality, all that nurturing energy and consciousness into Capricorn, and we have our duty, our self-responsibility, our controlling our own time, our own bodies, our own life, and we don't mind working hard on that. And we're going to say a big fuck you to not being respected and being overlooked. And we're going to say a big fuck you to being narcissistic. Pardon my French. If it bothers you, I'm sorry, but we're all adults here. Okay, my channel is not made for children. Okay, now the moon squaring we've got a T-square up here with the moon to the nodes, and it's also moving to a tighter T-square. Venus is squaring the nodes, and the moon connecting, it's only 5 degrees away. So with this movement of Ceres into Capricorn, it's right away, we've got the moon involved ruling women, Venus ruling women, and squaring the nodes. Like I said, Eris is over here. We're going to win at some point. And the south node of the past, we have lots of relationships up here or back here to help support us. And these are all the men who will vote on our side, and all of the family members who will vote for LGBTQ rights, because we're all human, And Venus is, is squaring the nodes all week long. So, and then with that Chiron opposition getting tighter every day, it's about you matter, Chiron and Aries. You matter, just who you are in your natural essence. You don't have to change who you are to fit in with society. You're human, you're here, you matter. And the moon is, there we go, there's the public mood, and it has to do with what's right for everyone. Venus wants equality and harmony, remember, of course. Mercury is now, moving away from Pluto, so things have been we've been talking about it a lot. But again, like I said, be careful all week long. We have to be sensitive with our words, right? So besides getting in touch with all those deep issues that we're trying to transform, and Venus is really good for attracting more freedom, more love. But then Mars, that's joining up with Pluto, it's only 5 degrees away, and Mars moves pretty quick, so we're going to be seeing all that. I'm kind of like seeing things in the future here. The moon is like setting it all off, okay, because the moon's a luminary and it's shining a light, and it's going to start crossing over all of these planets. So that's why I'm seeing this ahead of time. The other aspects are the same, but with the moon and setting off all of this big transit here, what I want to say about this is that we're going to feel more, motivation to work on ourselves, like I was saying before, and work on our projects and moving towards more freedom. But Venus is going to help us with our relationships. So Venus is going to help us figure out, are there power and control issues going on? Or is there just infatuation and it's kind of fleeting? Or is it something deeply powerful? Because Venus is headed towards Pluto. And the moon is like setting all this off. Are we in relationships, like I said, trustworthy? Can we believe in them? Do they do what they say? Do they really mean what they say? I mean, that's the spiritual meaning of communication. Is that, the words match up with the actions. But most of all, what I want to say is that Venus is really good for attracting more loving people into your life. And there's so much powerful energy this week, but the question is, like, how are we going to use it? And then also, when it comes to, like I said, because all this is leading up to the new moon in Aquarius, I think I said that, because that's happening on Friday. This week is for setting our intentions, because, intentions that are set, mantras that are said, affirmations that are said to set up our days. We are going to experience the power of our words and the power of our commitment, right? With all the Capricorn energy here and the Mars. I mean, it's just all right here. What can happen this week is that with the intention being set, energy wraps around the intention. The words that we speak to ourselves, either silently or out loud, the mantras that we say, either silently or out loud, and especially the written word put on an altar or different places around the house so you see it, or different areas, that, like on your desk at work, whatever, in your car, sticky note on your car, whatever it is that you're trying to heal or trying to bring in, or you're in the process, not trying, but you're in that actual manifestation process with all this Capricorn energy. Nurturing, manifesting. I have a 9-step process that I can take anybody through. Just, go to my website, book a session. I would definitely recommend, I can do it in one if you've been manifesting, but if you're new to it, we might need a few sessions. But if you're really good at it and you've been doing it, but you've been kind of stuck, I can do it in an hour and a half, taking you through it, because it's personal, right? The steps are the same for everyone, but it's a personal process through each step. And sometimes I can do it in an hour and a half, and other times it's a series of, like 1 hour here, 1 hour here, and then little tune-ups, maybe a half hour or something. But I'm good at that. I have Mars in Capricorn. I'm really good at that. So I can help you through that if that's something that you want. Just go to my website and schedule it. And, so we have this all the way through to December 7th, this opportunity to manifest and nurture our manifestations. And one of the ways you do it is to write down what you want. And, you got to plant those seeds, right? So, but there are a lot of other steps in there. Now, what else? I think that's it. Yeah, I'm going to go forward. Thursday, February 8th, 6 a.m., the moon is over here on the other side of Mars. So like I said, it crossed over, picked up all that Venusian attraction, that energy of attraction, and the Mars of hard work in Capricorn. And now the moon's at 28 degrees Capricorn, very close, with only 14 minutes away from the anaretic degree, 29 degrees, the last degree of the sign. And so if you've been willing over the last couple of days while the moon's been in Capricorn, if you've been goal-oriented, if you've been building plans, if you've been working within a structure of plans, if you've been self-structuring opportunities, for yourself, basically, if you've been shaping, bringing together the goals from the past, and you're working, then things are going to actually get very solid and stable for you. But if you haven't, if you've been stuck in materialism, let's say you're Trump and you are a prisoner of form and material greed, and nothing matters to you other than, everyone's an object. Everything in your life is objectified. Then there's going to be some big upsets coming in relationship, especially. Venus is now exactly trine Uranus, so the energy moves even faster. I don't think Melania will ever divorce him, but I think she's gotten herself away from him, and I'm actually positive of that because it comes through in every single reading I do. Either on him, and then when I focus on the both of them, they're always going in the opposite directions. So anyway, again, back to the Capricorn energy. The only way we can screw it up is to, like I said, abuse resources like he does, be materialistic and greedy like he is, be dictatorial like he is, be controlling and manipulating, right? And it's all about yourself. Then that's pretty much how you deal it. That's the deal. That's how it's going to be. Your experience is going to be that you're separate from humanity, separate from love, separate from all the good things, separate from positive pleasure, and you're going to be in a negative. You're going to be in a vicious circle of negative pleasure where all of your life force is inverted and working against you because you're not in alignment with the laws of love and you're not in alignment with the cosmic reality of the universe. So that's what he's got coming towards him. We can see that Ceres with the square over to Neptune, Ceres with this aspect here is wanting to get in touch with spirituality, nurture spirituality in very tangible ways, which means you do meditate, and you don't have to sit with your legs crossed. I haven't done that since, 90s. I sit in a chair or I lay down if I'm tired. I do it all different ways, and I walk through life. My day is a walking through life meditation, asking for guidance. I do it all day long. And then the rest of the day I'm just kind of playing. Right? Because you have to have fun. Fun has to be part of the equation. We don't have anything in Cancer going on right now, or Leo, but we really need to have fun. That is a real need. It reminds us of who we are in spirit. So setting the intention for fun and pleasure this week would also be a really good idea. Let's see. Back to the moon here. 28, it's already gone past, yeah. It's a, no, I think I can move forward. I think I've addressed it. Yeah. Let's go to Friday. Now we have the new moon, and we're kind of forward skipping the morning because it comes in at 2:58 p.m. Pacific. You can see right here, it's 20 degrees, 40 minutes of Aquarius. It's in that double sextile but it's a waning aspect. So we're moving away from the exact trine to the south node. But there's still the opportunity to really network, really get out into social relationships, to find balance and harmony, to have some justice come through. And this is February 9th, the day after things are supposed to start, with SCOTUS, that has to do with Trump and the 14th Amendment, Section 3, I believe, is what they're talking about. I think I have that right. Correct me. Set me straight if I've got that wrong. Yeah. The other ones I think are going to take some time, but so something could break through with this one. It could come through really quickly. It could be like, it's possible that they don't deliberate very long and they just go, nope, this is the way it is. They're all originalist when it comes to, well, not all of them, I can't say they all are, but the ones that usually, the ones we've had trouble with, they are originalists, meaning that they go with the original text of the Constitution. So I cannot see how they can let him get away with this, actually. Yeah. But whether or not he's immune, can have presidential immunity, that one is probably going to take some time to get through that one. But they can, if they want to go fast with something, they can. I mean, they certainly did when they knocked out Al Gore and let in George W. They do that in like 4 hours or what? 4 hours? It was some crazy amount of time. So, yeah. Okay, now we can see Venus is in this, pretty much it's an approaching but not yet exact square to Eris. Again, women be fighting. Women be fighting for their rights, for their human rights. Women be fighting for justice right here. So this new moon is a really good new moon for setting your intention for justice, for fairness, for relationships that are just and fair and full of equality and fun, and someone that's your best friend that you can talk to. There's a lot of friendship with these aspects here. We've got the aspect of the architect between the new moon and the sun. New moon is always joined up with the sun, of course. But we've got that double sextile to Eris. So again, boldly moving forward in ways that honor all of your growth, all of your relationship growth. It could be very healing for someone. Now, I think Merrick Garland had to have lower back surgery. That's ruled by Libra. Or he's going to have it. Maybe this is when he has it. I don't know. It'd be a really good day for it. But, and maybe it's laser surgery. Maybe all surgeries like that are pretty much laser anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I do know that they've made incredible headway with all types of surgeries. This speaks a little bit to, now, not exactly the new moon, but I did see news about that Neuralink, implant thing that Elon Musk has going on. And I guess it could be a big breakthrough for people who are paralyzed or have lost parts of, people have gone through strokes. But if you want it implanted into your head just so you can access the internet, I don't know if I'd do it for that. But if you're paralyzed, it might be worth trying it. I don't know. I mean, the guy's a genius on some levels and then completely disconnected from the heart on other levels. So I don't know if he's trustworthy or not. I'm going to let that go. I'm not going to say anything more about it because it might be perfect for someone out there and then not right for other people like me. Okay, so let's see. We have Mars squaring Eris. Right here, 27. No, I'm sorry. Let's see. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me get to the grid. What the heck's going on with the squares? Jupiter squaring Mercury. Uranus is squaring the sun and the moon. Yeah, okay. Ceres squaring Neptune. We talked about that. The nodes, talked about that, squared to Venus. So it's Jupiter to Mercury that I was catching. Okay. It's hard when they're all mixed up. So Jupiter up here to Mercury. Yeah, I can barely. Yeah, I see it. It's barely for me. And then the other squares are the Venus in the T-square. Yeah, I guess it's all the squares. The sun square, yeah, it's, okay, I see where I'm getting messed up. Okay, so I just have to break it down. Let's go with the Mercury square Jupiter first. So, because it's only 1 degree there. So 7 to 8 degrees. So the square from forward-thinking Aquarius, getting ourselves out of a box Aquarius, but needing to be careful of thinking you're superior because you know it all, that kind of thing, or having somebody talking to you coming from that perspective, or somebody that's you didn't ask for information about this, but they're just going to start teaching you something. Like imagine you're going to a museum with someone and you just want to take in the art and you don't want anybody yammering in your ear, but no, they're going to tell you everything about the artist that they've read up on because they want to be seen as somebody who knows something. Well, that is definitely a square to Jupiter and Taurus, because in Taurus, we want Jupiter's about the experiences that you can believe in, and they are bodily experiences. But you've got somebody up here just talking, and they're in their head, right? So this is a new moon where you maybe set the intention to have the simple truth come through that you experience on an empathic level in your body, and you don't need any words around it, and you also don't need to figure out what you're feeling. Like if your hair goes up on the back of your neck and you're looking at somebody, you know they're not safe, and you don't need to get the reason why. Why'd the hair go up on the back of my neck? No, you don't need to know that. You just need to know that person's not safe. Your body is warning you, and you don't need to know why, and you don't need the details. You just need to get the heck away from them, or don't let them in, right? If they're knocking on your door or whatever, or coming up to your car, whatever. It's like, no, you don't need it. It's in the body, and it's teaching you the truth, okay? So you can set the intention for your body to be more empathic if you want. Let's see, what else? The other squares, that's right. Sun and Moon are squaring Uranus here, 20 to 19. They're just a degree over, but it's okay. And that was approaching. So even on Thursday, all of this is in effect, where the two luminaries are... Actually, if I had gone back, some hours, we would have seen it come in. So it's okay, but just know that, because you'll see this early, I'm sure. Just know that earlier in the day, there's a tension field between what you're feeling and what you're seeing and what you're wanting in order to be free. And it's from the past. You're wanting to be free from the past on some level. And now I think it's going to be coming in, because we've already had the square of Venus here. We've already had the square of the moon with the nodes, right? All of that. So now by the new moon on Friday, it's very possible that the freedom, for sure what it's about, because that awareness is coming in or has come in. And now you know what to do, whatever it is. Could free you up in some way that makes your life easier, or it could free you up from a relationship that's been draining some energy, or it could free you up from doing things the hard way. I'm famous for that. But the issues are freedom and illumination to be even more free. Let's see, what else with this new moon? It's important to know that if you have any planets, personal planets especially, or just any planets though, any of your planets between 17 and 23 degrees of Aquarius, this will be a important new moon for you. And when it comes to new moons and full moons, you always want to try and get a lot of rest before, because sometimes they're energizing, and if you stay up too late, you can kind of catch a second wind, and then you're not sleeping all night, like that kind of thing. Or if you don't get to sleep early, you're going to wake up really early anyway. To go to sleep, then you're still going to wake up at the crack of dawn, butt crack of dawn, right? And then sometimes some new and full moons just they're not as much of a punch to your chart. So all depends on your natal chart. But generally the rules are 3 to 5 degrees of a conjunction to any personal planet or an opposition to a personal planet. I don't mess with the squares when it's a new moon, only a full moon, and it would have to be a 1-degree square. And the other aspects I don't mess with either, but just the oppositions and the conjunctions. So if you have any planets in 17 to 23 degrees of Leo, or 17 to 23 degrees of Aquarius, it could be important for you. If you have your ascendant, your IC, your descendant, or your midheaven at 17 to 23 degrees of Aquarius, this could be really important. If it's on your ascendant, you would be magnetizing more freedom and thinking out of the box and all the good qualities of Aquarius. Or you might magnetize a know-it-all that you want to get away from. If you have Aquarius down here, 17 to 23 degrees, it might help you be free of something that has just been deeply embedded in your roots, your upbringing. This point down here is a past life point. It could help you break through a past life issue. It could be a really good transit, actually. If it's on your descendant, this is how you relate to others and all relationships. So there could be something new that comes in there, or you can set the intention and have a very powerful intention that brings through, maybe even by the full moon, a new relationship of some type or a new partnership of some type. If you have 17 to 23 degrees of Aquarius up here on your midheaven, then this could be planting new seeds for how you participate with life, because, as it moves through the 10th house, the midheaven is our career point, our participation with society and life in general, our authority in life, right? So yeah, that's how that could work out with the new moon. But most of all, set those intentions for whatever you're wanting to bring in. So lastly, we have Saturday here. And with Saturday, I have it set at 6 a.m. The moon is close enough. It's 7 degrees away from Saturn. And so now, and every hour that goes forward, it's going to be, getting more and more exact. So more and more intense. I would think by noontime or so, you would have exact moon conjunct Saturn. So anyway, the moon with Saturn makes the energy, makes the day, makes those hours a little. Well, there's control, and when it comes to with Saturn and in Pisces, mixing the Pisces energy, it could be great for getting some artistic projects done, but it could also be kind of just like a little heavier of a mood, where it's like, oh, I don't want to work today at all. I just want to watch movies, because, movies are, or any type of media that you can see online and things that move and pictures and art and all of that. Is Piscean energy, and it's also ruled by Neptune. Now, it could be one of those days, you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do anything. It can be a blissed out day of doing nothing. There's nothing wrong with doing nothing. We all need a day of doing nothing, or at least a half a day. I couldn't lay in bed and watch things all day, unless I were sick, but then I'd be in the fetal position not watching anything. But this could be a fun day for art, for any mystical projects, mysticism on any level. Pisces is also our ruler for healing. It likes to include everything. It could be a day of seriously including all types of mixed media for an art project. It could be a day of bringing in all types of whatever you're needing to create something. And it could also be a good day for just flowing and going with whatever is, whatever's coming into your day, and just not having any plans. Sounds like a good Saturday to me. And because it's at, 0 degrees here at 6 a.m., we can bet that we'll have a Sunday that is, I don't have Sunday's chart here yet, but I can tell you for sure that we have Sunday with the moon in Pisces and then making its way towards, I bet you by Sunday morning or somewhere, maybe Sunday noon, we've, following there would be the 11th, that we have the moon conjunct Neptune. So that whole weekend, if you can get the whole weekend off and do nothing but have fun, go for it, because this will be really nice. It's also, with Piscean energy, it's very compassionate and very, very, very sensitive. Now, on the darker side, though, this is victimhood, this is being chaotic, this is people that won't take self-responsibility. If you have anyone like that in your life, they can be a real downer, especially today. But by by the end of the weekend, you're probably just like, don't ever want to be with them anymore, if that's how they are. But if it's somebody that you're taking care of, if you're a caretaker, this could be a day where all of your prayers are very, very supportive, and all of your tender, loving kindness is very, very effective. Okay? And if you're taking care of yourself, imagine you're homesick and you're having to take care of yourself, this can be a very, very good day to just, get a lot of sleeping in and do a lot of meditation. Meditation rules both Pisces and Neptune rules meditation. So let's see, is there anything else with the day? We have, that's still going on. Let's see. Saturn is still sextiling, of course. Jupiter, so everything's the same there. The sun is still squaring Uranus, that's the same. The sun is still trining the south node. Nothing's really changed. We still don't have Mars into Aquarius yet. Maybe it happens next week. Oh, I remember. Yeah, I think it will be next week. I think it's right before Valentine's Day that Mars moves into Aquarius, or it might be on Valentine's Day. I forget. I looked it up before, but I didn't write it down. So, yeah, that'll have a different flavor to it. Well, I'll talk about that when I get there. But for now, Venus is still squaring Eris. It's still about, moving forward with the feminine, all the feminine chutzpah we can bring through. So with that, I think I'll close this up and get it uploaded and be back for you guys next week. Okay, bye.